Okay. You wake up. It's 2 p.m. And for some reason you are in the foliage, the bushes.
Yeah.
Naked in the middle of the mall. What's your next move?
Okay. So
your car is on the other side of the mall.
here's the thing. Next move. Gotta wake up, analyze what I'm dealing with, what's going on. Why am I naked? What mall I'm in? Why is there plants in the mall? It could be inside mall, it could be outside mall, or
there's
it's
like
an inside
court,
outside. Okay. So there's plants in the food court. This is what I'm doing.
Okay.
I am army rolling out of the bushes over to Panda Express. Why Panda Express, you ask? Because they have the big red trays where you just kind of go down the assembly line.
Yeah.
I take one of the trays, I put it behind my booty, not in front of my wiener, because I need that propulsion from my wiener to helicopter away. And I helicopter off to the other side of the mall. I stop by Hot Topic just to look at the new Gojo pop figures. Then I leave, and then I make it back to my car.
For sure. That's good. That's good. And welcome back to the Snack Run Podcast. This is episode 19, I think.
It's an episode, all right.
It's an episode, all right. I'm your host, Ryan Hernia, a.k.a. Never Lose Heart, a.k.a. Kona Hot Cafe.
And I'm your co-host, Brady Cardio. You can call me a lot of things. Just don't call me a Diet Cherry Coke, because I have higher standards than being a Cherry Coke. Sorry about that, Ryan.
I mean, I honestly...
You're a monster. You're a monster for drinking
what?
Cherry Coke.
Unprovoked, you've attacked me 3 times for this.
Here's the thing. If you want to add flavor into your soda, go for it. But not already preset flavors into a soda. Like if you're going to take your own Torani and you maybe dab some syrup in your coffee flavors, totally okay. But they preset chemicals already in your Coke, that's just Coke coming at you, man. You're a government dog for Coca-Cola.
I am. My body is like a breeding ground for new diseases.
For new diseases.
New STDs.
New STDs.
Yeah.
What would be a really cool new disease?
What would be a really cool new STD?
Yeah.
Okay, so after you get done doing it, it'd be really cool for your dick to glow in the dark.
I don't think that would be like a, what do they call it, a disorder or infection or whatever, because it's not STDs anymore, because they used to call it.
Oh yeah, they call it something else.
Yeah, it's like STI. It's a infection, I think.
Right, because
it's not
kind of implies that it can't be cured.
Yeah, I think so, or something like that.
And we can cure almost all of them now.
Good thing we're both doctorates, and we both have our degrees and stuff like that. So I think we're really eligible to talk about this type of stuff.
We came from the school of hard knocks. We grew up in the harsh streets of Surprise. I mean,
hard knock life.
Yeah, Surprise. I don't give a fuck anymore.
My chain hang low. It wobbles to the floor. It shines in the light.
Yeah.
And it wiggles and it glows.
Do you also wake up with a ball of Jack?
Because I'm heading to the streets.
And when you go to the streets, you're not
coming back.
You're not coming back.
I'm not coming.
Yeah.
What a great intro.
Dude, honestly, the Surprise growing up was so hard. Honestly, you had a lot of things going on.
Yeah, a lot of dirt.
Sometimes it gets in your eye.
Yeah, and then sometimes you're like, I need to get to point A to point B, but there's a lot of dirt to go through, and I don't want to mess up my new J's. Because back in the day, everybody wore J's.
Osiris.
Yeah. J's. What was your school shoes of your choice?
My brain autofilled to you saying, "What was your school shooting you lived through?"
Yeah. What's your appropriate gun you like to bring to a school shooting?
Well, I prefer my Glock. Guys, today we're doing things a little bit differently. Obviously, we've been talking shit for a little bit now, but
I always talk shit. I'm gonna be talking shit until I go down to the grave.
We're kind of going to be just having a general podcast these days. Not that we really need to announce it.
Yeah, we're gonna deter away from our podcast to do a podcast.
We decided to not do a podcast anymore, and
instead we're gonna do a podcast.
We're gonna do a podcast. Hell yeah! I heard you tell someone the other day that we can't update our Spotify due to some sort of claim issue. That's not true.
Yeah,
we can do it at any time.
Yeah, okay. I don't know how. Do you know how?
Yeah, I could. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I can figure it out.
Yeah, probably 2 clicks away.
Good, bro.
What?
I have some sick news articles to show you today.
You have some sick news articles?
Yeah.
Well, you better get those pills ready. Man, I'm so good.
Yeah, you're on it today.
I'm so good at this job.
Yeah.
No wonder I got that pay raise.
They gave you a raise?
No, I actually got a pay cut.
There used to be an old guy at my old job where I worked at Sprouts. I'd be like, "Hey, Dale, another day, another dollar," and he'd be like, "Oh, they gave you a raise?" Right. So the Meg 2. The Meg, a big old fucking shark.
Yeah, not Megan, the doll.
Yeah, not Megan the doll. Debuts. Meg 2 the movie. The Trench. It's called Make 2 The Trench.
Okay.
Debuts with a 16% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Ooh, that's out of 16%?
Out of 100.
Oh. I don't think that's that good.
Did you see Make 1?
I did not see Make 1.
Despite its overwhelmingly shitty review, it actually racked in quite a bit. It brought in $30 million in its first weekend. Domestically.
Domestically, okay. 30 million is actually not that good. If you compare it to like nowadays.
Well, yeah, we only talk about like highbrow movies.
Yeah, I guess. But yeah, no, but that 16% on Rotten Tomatoes, that's not good, man.
Do you like fun bad movies? Like they're so shitty, they're good.
It really just depends, because like you have to find that movie where like the creators kind of know it's gonna be bad and they're totally fine like making it like a fun bad movie. But there's sometimes where like the directors and the creators are like, this movie's still good. Like they're so passionate about their own project they can't realize all the flaws in it. So like in their head they're thinking it's so good, so the movie is like taking itself a little too serious.
There's a Five Nights at Freddy's like rip-off movie. It was called, I forgot what it was called, but Nicolas Cage is in it.
Yeah, I remember seeing the trailers for it.
I saw it.
Yeah.
And that was a movie that felt like they knew it was bad stupid.
They just knew it was bad, so they're like, because that's fun. I think when you're in a situation as a director and part of that team, when you know it's like, okay, this is gonna be a bad stupid movie, then you kind of just go wherever, any direction you want.
D-list actors.
Yeah, any direction you want. You're like, yeah, let's just have fun with it. But like, if you don't have that, you're like, okay, we have to stick by the book. We have to make sure this is a good movie. Like, I think it's a great movie and stuff. So,
do you plan to see it?
The Meg.
Just say no.
It's probably
no.
Okay. Well, you told me to say no, so I'm gonna say no.
I might see it.
Do you think those type of movies are still trying to ride the wave? Funny wave, because the ocean. They're still trying to ride the wave of Jaws. Because remember when Jaws back in the day, before we were even around.
More like kaiju type of stuff.
You think kaiju?
Big monster.
It's
a big freaking shark.
Like Pacific Rim.
Yeah,
that was a good one.
Pacific Rim.
That's a good one.
Bro, I'm gonna find that Pacific Rim if you know what I'm talking about.
I don't get it.
All right, so some big news, big updates. As of just 7 hours ago, think about that. 7 hours ago. Where were you 7 hours ago?
I was asleep.
Holy shit!
Yeah,
you slept in today.
Yeah.
As of 7 hours ago, the Barbie movie surpasses $1 billion at the box office.
Ooh.
It is now second. It is now second most highest grossing movie of this year, right behind Super Mario Bros. It beat off Guardians of the Galaxy 3 in a single.
It beached off.
I'm beat him, so I'm beat you. Boom, and beat you both off. It beached Guardians 3 in 1 weekend. It took Guardians almost 3.5 months to get to.
You know what's crazy?
800 million.
It's crazy because like Guardians was that like comeback movie for kind of Marvel. They were like, because all the newer Marvel stuff is like, yeah, okay, hit or miss, whatever. Then Guardians 3 came out and everybody was like, we have to see this, and it was a really great movie, but it still like got beat out by Barbie.
Right. I think Barbie is a bit of an anomaly. It was just done super well, and I kind of feel bad for Greta Gerwig a little bit, just because like whatever her next work is, they're only gonna be comparing it to Barbie.
Yeah, but I mean, yes, it's gonna be challenging for her, but I don't think it's not gonna. It's not like it can't be done. You know what I'm saying? Like she could totally top herself, and maybe she could make something even bigger than like what Barbie was. Like
that's a big maybe. I mean, how many actors or directors can say with all confidence that like, you know, their best work or their first work, or like, you know, one of their first works was not their best work. I don't know. So
no, I feel that. What you're trying to say is like it's hard to top one of your works when it is like this, like Golden Grail. Yeah, it's like pinnacle, your Golden Grail and stuff. And I can't think of any like movies off the top of my head, but like I think it's doable. But I do think it's really cool for like her being the first female director to hit a bill, and like that
solo director too.
Solo female director to hit a bill, and like that's such a cool thing to think about, because even like just the movie in general, what the movie's just kind of about, it's kind of about that patriarchy.
James Gunn has a higher chance because he keeps getting well-known properties to work with. So it's let's say Batman for example. Just say Batman for example. If you make a shitty Batman movie, you can still guarantee it'll probably turn a profit just because it's Batman.
Yeah,
He's badass.
It's the names.
And it's a huge name.
Yeah, I actually saw something about that recently about like all these movies, like they're doing great because they're just pre-property named like icons, you know, like Barbie, Batman, Mario. Like, where's the original ideas? Like, I don't know if I agree with it because I enjoy these like pre-property name like ideas, but like it would be cool to see
Ninja Turtles, right?
Yeah, Ninja Turtles, or even like Creed that goes off of the Rocky franchise, like,
and Creed 1 and 2.
Yeah, and like it's like, where's the original ideas at? Like,
I guess Oppenheimer. Oppenheimer is technically like
I think
pretty left field.
Yeah, maybe the thing I saw was talking about Oppenheimer because how cool it was that like it is kind of like original, but if you kind of think about it, it's based off of like a true story kind of, so that's still even
definitely a true story.
But I think like that's kind of a hard middle ground to find because like you're gonna take inspiration from anything in life whenever you make a movie.
Speaking of Oppenheimer, as of 1 day ago, it reached 500 million. So it's half of what the Barbie movie's doing, but it definitely more than made its money back. 500 million, also nothing to scoff at. You know what I mean? That's still a very high success. Definitely not, you know, an anomaly like home run like the Barbie movie, but you know, what are you gonna do?
Yeah, I mean,
and you pointed it out while while we were offset. You said that, you know, it's just PG tickets, man. You can sell a lot more PG tickets than you can an R ticket.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, and that's just how it goes. Is like you could kind of like why the Mario movie did well, not only because it was a pre-standard, pre-franchise name already under their belt, but it was also a PG or just a G movie. So everybody just like went to go see it because they could. You could take your family and kids to go see it, and like the showing I was at, there was like 20 kids in the Mario movie. Kind of the same with like any other movie. Is like if it's a movie you could bring your whole family to, that's right there going to sell more tickets.
And also going off of that, like, surprise, we saw Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem today, and we're going to go into it more in our snack bite, but that was solid. And if you don't get to watch our snack bite, I give it an 8 out of 10. I really enjoyed it a lot. I felt like it was strongest with the actual core cast of the Ninja Turtles, Michelangelo, Leonardo, and so on. Those kids really brought it to life.
No, yeah, they're great.
Yeah, and they were legitimately like 12 to like 14 years old too.
Yeah, definitely the guy who played Leonardo. He's the voice actor of Gumball. Isn't that like super cool?
I wish you had told me that beforehand.
Oh, for real? Oh, yeah. I thought you knew. Yeah, he's the first or second. No, he's the first because Gumball in the Amazing World of Gumball has 2 voice actors because obviously the kid grew up. But yeah, he's the first or second voice actor, and he plays Gumball too. So I think that's really cool. Just kind of, and you guys can watch your snack bite too. It should be up, or it's going to be up on Thursday.
Yeah. Thursday.
I thought it was good. It's definitely not my favorite iteration of the Ninja Turtles, but I also don't think it's a terrible movie. It takes a lot of liberties and like there's a lot of creative direction into it, but like I still liked it. It was still really cool.
Right. It's just like with any kind of massive property, it gets reimagined every few years. Like Batman and like what else gets reimagined every few years?
I mean, Batman, Spider-Man every couple of years.
Spider-Man.
I feel like all the superheroes get reimagined. Yeah, it's mainly just superheroes, I think. Superheroes are those big names, kind of like Power Rangers to Transformers to a point.
I guess Little Mermaid too.
Yeah, well, everything gets reimagined. You always have to like retell a story for a new generation of audiences.
Exactly. Ninja Turtles gets
done
a lot, though.
That's why I think Ninja Turtles does get done a lot. But that's why I think this one is a hit, definitely for the younger generations, because when you watch these kids, you're like, holy shit, these are kids from like this like generation of kids growing up. They're acting the same. There's no like separation between like how this current generation of kids act compared to like these like Ninja Turtle kids.
And that shouldn't like steer you away from watching this movie. There's a plenty there for adults as well. A good amount of nostalgia as well. A lot of great voice actors try to capture and try to like grab like see which ones you can notice and stuff like that. So very good.
It's fun. Yeah, definitely if you're like a big Hollywood person, you're like, oh my gosh, there's so many different like voice actors and actors in this movie. Like that's just fun to watch too.
Honestly, I'd watch it again. I really would. I would.
Chris Pratt was in it.
I didn't even know.
Yeah, well, he was a cardboard cutout, but he was in it. Yeah, he was a cardboard cutout in the background, but technically he was still in it.
Let's see here.
Give me a good one. Give me a good one, Papa.
Let's talk a little bit of anime. Just
I like anime. I don't mind anime.
So
is there anything going on in anime?
How about you?
It's kind of dry right now.
No, it's not. I promise. I promise you, it's not. I'm gonna let you take the reins on this one a little bit. This article reads: One Piece Gear 5 fails to surpass Ultra Instinct hype by a great margin. Dragon Ball fans celebrates. And that last part's a little bit like whatever.
It's so funny just to like go off of this is like it's so funny because people are like Dragon Ball fans are like like Ultra Instinct, like Ultra Instinct. I saw the meme. It was like a meme of like a Dragon Ball fan like saying that behind like a One Piece fan. The One Piece fan was like, okay. I didn't care if it did or didn't. Like Dragon Ball fans want One Piece fans to feel upset that it didn't, but like One Piece fans don't care because like they kind of understand like okay, that's okay. We still enjoyed it. Like I'm not like whatever.
Plus, there's still more to come. Like they can be warming up still.
Yeah,
I did have one gripe with that. It felt like there's like 8 or so too many silly sound effects, and then 2. It kind of went really fast. I think it would have benefited for breathing and slowing down the action a little bit. I think it would have benefited a lot. Not to say it wasn't good. I still thought it was good. I did.
I think so. When they introduced Gear 5, I think for at least a little bit they kind of wanted to put us in like Kaido's perspective because like currently in the fight, Kaido's getting like milli-rocked by like this goofy, cartoony like pirate guy. And like that's kind of like the speed what Kaido's experience is like so much randomness going on all at once. It's so crazy, but I also think like that's what Kaido's kind of experiencing, and that's also expressing like Luffy's like freedomness in it because like in Gear 5 is supposed to be like a representation of like what it means to be truly free. So like he's not really he's not really following like the laws of physics. He's not following the laws of anime. Like he's breaking like
he's bouncing the ground.
He's bouncing on the wall. He's not doing like anime stuff. He's doing cartoon stuff because like he's the freest person in the world. So I think there's pros and cons.
And I thought his power was that he can like create anything from his imagination.
Yeah, so it's unlimited imagination.
So couldn't he like not be silly? What if the power befell on someone like Zoro? Like what kind of like abilities would that awaken?
Yeah, so I mean, we've only seen it with Luffy, and Luffy's like a carefree.
He wants to be like a cartoon, basically.
Yeah, because Luffy's like goal is like we know his like main dream is to be king of the pirates, but he also has a secret goal what no one knows yet, and we think that goal has to align with making everybody smile or be happy. That's what some people are theorizing, and so I think
a little basic, but I like it.
It's a little basic, but like that's one of his secret goals that we're assuming what it is, and like I could see that maybe like he's representing like what his goal is with Gear 5.
Interesting, because I was thinking like, okay, so if his power is more like animation or imagination based, couldn't he be like not a cartoon and like something just as cool? I mean, I don't know.
Yeah,
he could have been like a Marvel character, like drawn as a Marvel character.
Yeah, but I mean, and like we're just like seeing the bare minimum of like
the tip of the iceberg.
Yeah, tip of the iceberg of like what Gear 5 is even at the moment. There's still like a lot more to come, and like we only seen like 5 minutes of Gear 5, so there's definitely a lot more to go about it.
Excuse me. Okay, so I have another one for you.
Okay.
This one's pretty different from what we normally talk about, but if you have anything to say about it, let's talk about it.
Yeah, I probably have a lot. I like to say a lot of things.
Donald Trump will likely take a mugshot if he is indicted in Georgia. According to the Fulton County Police, Pat Labbitt, the former president is expected to face a 4th indictment for alleged criminal efforts to overturn the 2020 elections results in the state. Let's see. And then the officer has a quote here. Unless somebody tells me differently, we are following our normal practices, and so it doesn't matter your status, he told reporters.
Yeah. I mean, that's interesting. You know us. We know everything about politics.
Right. It's a little different,
yeah,
like
I
said.
We're big politic guys. But, I mean, I guess, like, I think, like, the stats thing is kind of a really cool one to go off of is like sometimes people use their status. It was like, you can't do that to me, my dad, or I'm this or that, and like it's kind of like what happened with the Amber Heard thing is like she was like, nothing's gonna happen to me, I'm Amber Heard, I've been in all these movies and stuff like that.
I couldn't name what movie she was in.
Yeah, Aquaman. But red hair girl, I forget her name. Atlantis.
The wife.
Yeah, whatever. Her girlfriend.
Dude,
love
a
interest.
lot of DC's like characters are either like facing criminal charges or like
Like Donald Trump.
Yeah, like Donald Trump.
But yeah, that's the thing is I don't know too much about the situation, but like as long as like he doesn't get any leeway with it, like.
Did you vote for him?
No, I didn't vote for him. Not one bit. But I just don't know a lot about politics. But yeah, that's the thing is like if he is rightfully charged, then that's cool. But he shouldn't be like, I'm Donald Trump. I have all this money. You guys can't do this to me.
He thinks he's untouchable.
Yeah, for sure. And like definitely like with all the evidence what came out, I was like, okay, sometimes you just gotta bite the bullet.
And that's not even talking about all like his tax evasion type stuff.
I wonder what would happen if he just says, because there is like very stern evidence. I wonder what would happen if he just says, "All right, my bad. I'll do
my bad."
Yeah, my bad. And then like if he just takes it like head on,
yeah,
they'll probably be like, okay, well he's taking ownership of this. He's not trying to fight back or whatever. So like let's lessen his like.
No one has more criminal charges than me. Billions and billions. China, I have the most criminal charges and the most indictments. At least he's
holding that record. He always likes to be number one, so at least he's holding that record.
He's number one in indictments and criminal charges and most arrests per former president. He's killing it. He's killing it for sure.
No, yeah, he's up there, right next to George Washington.
Dude, you're gonna hate this one. Oh. Actually, no, you're gonna love it.
I love hating and loving stuff.
You do this one. This one's gonna have you emotional.
Okay.
Influencers Andrew and Tristan Tate have been released from house arrest after winning an appeal on Friday.
Oh, that's stupid.
I thought you were a Cobra Tate guy. However, they are not permitted to leave Romania ahead of their trial for charges of human trafficking and rape.
Yeah, they're fucking idiots.
Talk like you're a Tate supporter.
Talk like I'm a Tate supporter?
Yeah, I'll talk back.
So you want me to defend him?
So it's all about the Matrix, man. You have to escape the Matrix. Otherwise, your manlyhood will never blossom. You will always be a red pill bitch.
Yeah, I don't even know what they sound like.
Oh.
I don't really keep up. All I know is they're just like the rapists and they're terrible people and they're misogynistic. Yeah, women are only good for a couple things in life, and besides that, we need to get them out of the fear. You know me, I'm a misogynistic, so I'm really good at it.
Why do women have tits? So you have something to look at when you're talking to them.
Oh, that's a good one. You kind of sound misogynistic.
Thank you. I'm good at that.
You could totally. You really blend in. Like if you came out yesterday and you say, "Hey, I'm misogynistic," I would be like, "Good for you."
Would I come out? Which is more likely? I come out as homophobic or misogynistic?
Ooh.
Which one is more? Like, I'm not either. But which one is more realistic?
You ride the line of both pretty often. Like you're right there. Like because there's some days I'm like, damn.
I mean, why do a woman need a license? There's no road between the dishwasher and the fridge.
How do you know all these jokes? Yeah, probably misogynistic. I would say.
Really?
You make a lot more friendly or gay jokes than you do like. You make a lot of like demeaning girl jokes.
Look at my shirt. I wore a satchel today.
Yeah, no, it still doesn't mean you don't make like demeaning girl jokes. So I would probably say misogynistic. You're not.
You said I ride the line for both.
You do ride the line for both.
Don't fuck you. All right. This one's hand-picked for Brady.
Oh, I like Brady. He's a cool guy.
He's a good dude.
I like him.
Yeah, he's a little full of himself, but he's a good guy. To thank her Eras Tour crew, Taylor Swift has reportedly paid out a total of $55 million in bonuses.
Isn't that crazy?
Truck drivers who worked on the tour each received an extra $100,000 for their work. $100,000 is so fucking much.
It's crazy that like she's doing that. Meanwhile, Lizzo is out there sexually assaulting her crew members. So I'm like,
kind of wild.
I'm like, it's like you definitely see like who's the superior like music artist. Like Taylor Swift is out here doing amazing things.
Well, sometimes you gotta separate the art from the artist. Like we love Lizzo's music.
We do.
We respect Lizzo's music.
We do?
We listened to it once. We did?
I think at the gym they play it. They play that one Lizzo song where she thinks she's a superhero. She's kind of full of herself.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Like before, I had no thoughts on Lizzo, and then now she came out of saying like she's doing like all these bad things to her crew members and stuff, and like she's making herself look absolutely terrible. So
Speaking of which, I actually have a.
Oh really?
I actually have one on Lizzo.
Let's read it. Let's read
it real quick. Do you want to read this one?
No, I'm good. My dyslexia will make this whole experience terrible for everybody.
So you can be dyslexic and I can be
misogynistic.
Okay, cool.
I'll take dyslexia over that any day.
Best podcast. The best podcast. As of August 1st, 3 of Lizzo's former dancers have filed a lawsuit accusing the singer of sexual harassment, weight shaming, and creating a hostile work environment. And it goes on to read. Former dancers have filed legal complaints alleging that they face sexual, religious, and racial harassment and disability discrimination while working for the singer. Holy shit.
Yeah, no, she's terrible. She's a terrible person.
I heard some horrible things. Mm-hmm. I heard that they were like in Amsterdam, and then the strippers would shoot out like dildos from the hoo-has, and the dancers had to try to grab the dildos that they were like shooting them out. Like they're queefing out the dildos, and Lizzo's dancers were like forced to try to grab them as they're like shooting out.
It's so crazy, like, and it just like it really shows the difference between like good artists and bad artists, and like it's just sad. And you know what's another thing?
And the power of the vagina, because like that's a powerful.
It's funny how I analyze it and how you analyze it.
How you analyze it? Dude, you're crazy. You're right there with me.
No, yeah, it's just sad. It's just sad that you see people kind of going along with the Donald Trump thing. Like, you see people in power, like, thinking, like, they're, like, on a different level. And, like, at the end of the day, you're human.
And wasn't she all about, like, women empowerment and, like, body positivity like, not that long ago?
Isn't that crazy? So it's kind of like she's just saying and doing stuff just to, like, be the hit artist because she thinks a certain way when like she's not. You have to act a lot more than what you just say.
And there's a tiny bit more that's worth reading. Mm-hmm. The lawsuit states that while Lizzo's tour was in Amsterdam, she pressured members of her dance team to touch sex workers and eat bananas from their vagina. Lizzo is also accused of bringing attention to a dancer's weight gain.
Here's the thing. Some of that stuff is just so out there and out of pocket. I'm like, there's no way this is real.
Yeah, but we're not kink shaming. If bananas from strippers' pussies is your thing.
Yeah, I guess, yeah. But like, Lizzo shouldn't like when she was forcing them. See, some of that stuff, I'm like, is this real? Is this just like a media poll?
It also like Lizzo's managers stated that they cannot talk ill about Lizzo. They cannot talk ill about Lizzo, but they did commend those dancers for stepping up and saying something.
Yeah.
So that's kind of confirming.
It's kind of like the what's it called? The thing what The Rock has implemented, where like he can't lose a fight in Hollywood, and so it's like Lizzo implemented a contract where like no one's allowed to talk ill about me.
So stupid, dude.
It's it's just so sad.
That's
and like
so fucking. The Rock thing is so dumb.
It is scary because like you just see not the pros and cons, but it's just like the bad nature of all these celebrities, and like it's making like the good celebrities look like bad, and like they're like, oh, if this celebrity's doing it, like what other celebrities are like acting.
If you were a massive influencer / like performer, what would your weird secret cancel like thing be?
What do you mean by that?
Like if you were like, let's say you're a massive, like huge rapper, right? And you had your backup performers and your crew and everything. What would be the one thing that they would cancel you for?
Oh, one thing. Probably tax evasion. They're like, oh, this guy doesn't pay his taxes. I'm like, why would I? I'm rich. Haha, it's my money.
Okay, so we have another Donald Trump on our hands. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding. I'd be like, I don't know how to do taxes. That's what I would say.
What would be your cancellation? Not. Let's say you're kind of a famous artist, blah blah blah. I'm not talking about your current cancellations in the work right now. I'm talking about like if you were like at that level.
Okay, maybe that I don't pay child support or I don't tip. One of those two.
Oh, can you get canceled for not tipping? Because at the end of the day, it's optional, right?
What if you found out after all the good things, all the good things you've heard, Taylor Swift doesn't leave a single dime for the waiters and waitresses that serve her. And then she comes out the video like, she's like, why would I tip someone for something I can do myself? I don't tip anyone if I can bring my own food out.
I think I would like view her in a different light, because I actually brought this up to a lot of Swifties, because Swifties are like diehard. I brought them up like, if something came out about Taylor Swift, would you turn on her? Like, you know, like people do every
That's
other.
a good question. That's a good question.
Because like Swifties, man, are diehards.
Diehards.
Like they changed the price of eggs,
Mm-hmm.
like because Taylor Swift told them to like change the price of eggs, and the next day like price of eggs dropped. I was like, Swifties are something else. There was active earthquake radiation like scales from one of her concerts.
Mm-hmm.
Did you see that?
2.6.
Yeah, it was something like that. And so like Swifties were diehard, man. But
who do you think would win a fight? Every BTS fan, and they're called the BTS Army for a reason, or every Swift fan.
Here's the thing, I think BTS is more global. I don't know how global Taylor Swift is. My wife would probably have good answers for that. But I think BTS is a lot more global, because they have all of basically Asia, and then they have the U.S., and then probably other continents and countries.
Dude,
and
Brazil loves BTS.
Yeah,
too.
so I'm thinking BTS might just, even though they're not, I think they're huge here, but they're not in my common like realm of like media.
Sure. Do you know that there's more BTS fans than you might think? Like
I think there is.
I knew some friends back when I worked at Dutch Bros, and I thought they're like, you know, fairly normal. Mm-hmm. They love BTS.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, BTS is just like, it's a boy band, a Korean boy band, right? Is that?
And they're pretty.
And they're pretty, so it's a Korean boy band. We're pretty, like that's gonna attract a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
I think BTS is just globally. Like I personally don't know how big they are, but they just seem they're more globally big.
Did you know that? I mean, of course you knew, but like also if you think about it, like just China alone is way bigger than the U.S.
Yeah.
Like we are sizable. But there are countries in the Asian continent that are just as big or bigger.
Yeah, just like it's just bigger land. Like I don't think
if everyone in China jumped at once, like they can freaking sink that continent.
Well, if you also think it's older too, it's like one of the oldest continents out there.
Right, China was discovered for a long time before America was. That's right.
Actually, we probably, maybe you do, but me personally, I don't know that much about like world history when it comes to like Asia and stuff like that. All the Europe countries. Well, I know the Europe countries like Rome and stuff. We all learned about Rome.
I know that China and Japan don't like each other.
They don't?
I know that Vietnam. Vietnamese people are basically Chinese people, and I know that's a crazy thing to say. But when I was dating a Vietnamese woman, she told me that Vietnam broke off and like had their own made their own country from China, and they didn't want to go back to being a Chinese ruled country, and so that's why they are so close to Chinese culture and looking. And
you know what's crazy, and I don't think Americans could do this. When you go to a different country, you could literally ask, I don't know if this is entirely true, but I've seen this firsthand. You could ask any citizen in that country, like, hey, can you explain like the history behind this? And they could do it on the spot. I feel like in the U.S., if you go up and you're like, hey, can you explain the history on this one thing? No one could explain it. Like the U.S. people here in the U.S. just don't care, or they're not getting taught properly. But like, when I went to Naples, Italy, and like we took this cab, and one of the locals was in the cab with us, and he was explaining everything.
The driver?
Not the driver, no,
Oh,
because
okay.
he's supposed to know everything. It was just someone else.
I'm about to say, because the driver might want to give you kind of like a tour, so you can get that tip.
Yeah, and we did give him a tip, but no, it's just like I feel like people in the U.S. don't. I see so many sad videos of people like I just don't know what's real and what's not. But they'll be like, who's your current president? And they're like, I don't know. Like, they just don't know. Or they're like, oh, what's the capital of the U.S.? And it's Washington, D.C. And they're like, I don't know. Kentucky?
Texas?
Yeah.
Remember in John Mulaney's bit, he was like, when I was 6 years old, my siblings told me that Miss America killed my real mom and I'm adopted. And to top things off, I thought Miss America was a Statue of Liberty. And then he's like, oh my God, this goes right to the top. I'm never gonna get justice for my mom.
It's so funny. I love John Mulaney.
So like he's one of the dumb Americans who doesn't know shit.
Well, when you were 6, what? His mom told him that when he was 6?
No, I know.
I didn't know stuff when I was 6.
Do you want to know where my dark humor kind of started from?
Your parents.
Oh yeah, of course. So when I was like 5 years old, my dad, he's like, "Hey son, come over here." And this is legit story. He's like, "Come over here, son." And my dad was like, son, we used to have 2 dogs, but when we had you, we didn't have enough money to feed our other dog, and it died.
So he guilt tripped you, like you killed the dog.
I was 5,
Yeah.
Brady. I was 5, and I turned around. I was like, I'm sorry, and I started crying, and I walked up the stairs,
That's so
and
funny.
my dad laughed his ass off.
I would too.
And that was the start of my toxic humor, and also like,
Imagine when you're a dad and you get to do stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's gonna be incredibly funny.
Yeah.
Like as a kid, you're like, why would you do that? As an adult, you're like, fuck yeah.
It's sort of like Bert Kreischer's bit where it was like, when you're a kid and you hear that Stacy's mom pulled up to pick up her child and she was 25 minutes late and drunk, and you're like, oh, how does that happen? Oh my, I'm never gonna be that person. And then you grow up and you're like, oh yeah,
Yeah.
I can see how that happens.
It reminds me, yeah, one of John Mulaney's old stand-ups who was like, yeah, we had 3 yelling kids in the car, all yelling McDonald's. Dad finally pulls into McDonald's. We're all chanting, McDonald's, McDonald's, McDonald's. He orders single black coffee. He picks it up and drives away. Like, I want to be that. I want to be that parent. I want to just like crush my kids.
Just right.
I want to absolutely crush my
That is
kids.
so funny.
Just their spirit and all.
Yeah.
Here's a couple things. I don't know. Do you have any more articles?
Yeah,
you
but I
wanna
was
read?
having fun. I was just having fun talking.
Yeah, let's just have fun. We could talk a little bit about anime. Do you like anime?
I do. Yeah. Do you
On
have some-
occasions.
Yeah.
So JJK, man. People are saying, like, a lot of the manga readers are saying, like, you guys think you're having fun now, but you buckle up. You better just stop. Like, literally stop. Like, JJK manga readers are telling anime fans just to stop watching. Like, they're like, you're going to be heartbroken. Not saying it's bad, but they're like, stuff is about to go down. You're not going to want to see. So I'm like, oh, what's going down?
So
Who's
I'm
dying?
not sure this is true. Might be spoilers. So spoiler. It's the Shibuya War Arc, basically. Shibuya War Arc. And Yuta comes in. Remember Yuta?
I like him.
With his demon.
I like
his demon
him.
girlfriend.
Yeah, she was cute. After she died, she was cuter once when she died.
Yeah.
She was like,
Yeah, we're not really into it. Anyway,
speak for yourself.
Nobara. Something happens to Nobara in the Shibuya War Arc, where like basically she's like blown up or something, and then she's out of the manga for like 50 chapters. It's just still she still hasn't been seen.
And then does he like pop off because he's like, no?
I don't know. I know that
He kills everybody.
I know that
Everybody dies.
she takes a big hit. Well, you know what happens to Gojo, right?
Yeah, he dies.
Yeah.
Well, he died. Spoiler for episode inventory number 3 and 4. That's the episode name, I think. Gojo dies, and then he comes back later. He's like, surprise, bitch, I'm not dead. And then like he finally masters his infinity, whatever it's called. And then he's like, I have blue, I have red, or whatever. Then he's like, it makes purple.
Do you know what his blue and red does?
What?
So his ability is so hacked, but also
it's
like
incredibly like overpowered.
But also like he talks like twice about like how infinity.
Mm-hmm.
That's not worth anything anymore. Thank you so much, Brady. For
That's been there, actually.
No, you just made it worse.
No, it's been there.
All right, whatever.
I didn't even touch that. I touched.
I like that pop so much too.
How about this?
No, it's fine. Put it back how it was. Here. There you go.
Okay. Go on.
So Gojo's ability is hard to explain. I think anyone's gonna have a hard time kind of explaining his ability.
Yeah.
But
I think I have a hard time.
Oh yeah, dude. Yeah, it's horrible. He has the power of infinity, right?
Mm-hmm.
And infinity fucks with your brain so much that he has to constantly be healing it with like a small layer of energy.
Oh yeah.
So like he's thinking in like infinite like possibilities all the time. So he has to be like constantly healing his brain. And blue is the ability to create black holes or like an aura that shoots out from stuff.
Yeah.
So like this would like break into 1,000 pieces, while red brings everything in and then like consumes it.
So when he combines them, it makes infinity.
It makes purple that it's more like a black hole. It's just like nothing exists within this hole.
Yeah, because like something explodes something puts stuff to bear. So like it's like a loop.
One's it's like a push and pull. Like blue's pushing it out, and red's bringing it in, and then I think purple is just like destroying everything.
Man, sometimes I was thinking about this because new Baki season just came out, and I'm not caught up with the manga.
Baki Hanma,
Baki
the Grappler.
So it's there's a couple different seasons. There's Baki, then Baki the Grappler, then Baki Hanma, then there's Son of Org, Baki Hanma. Then there's just
Baki.
Ogre.
Is it Ogre?
Ogre, same thing. Yuji Hanma is that? Anyway, I'm getting distracted. But like you gotta think like sometimes these writers for these mangas, they have to be so incredibly smart. Like they have to be next level smart because like some ways how they explain like certain moves, some scientific stuff. I'm like, these mangakas are so smart. Like, how do they even think about that? Like, I was watching Baki, and they were explaining some, like, legit, like, science stuff when they were talking. So this new season's about, like, the dinosaurs and the primeval era and stuff like that. And, like, DNA and stuff. And I'm like, how does this mangaka know so much about like that science? And it was like real science stuff. I'm like, that happens a lot. Kind of like when the JJK manga was quietly coming up with Infinite Purple or whatever, Purple Push, Purple Daddy, Purple Rain. Like you got to know like some basic concepts of like these things to make this world.
I think it's sort of like you find a concept exciting and then you write about it.
Yeah. And then some people are actually just pre-knowledgeable about certain concepts and then they just really good. Like IQ, the author, he was a volleyball player, so he knew all the volleyball.
Same thing with the Tokyo Avengers. The author of Tokyo Avengers was in a street gang.
Yeah, so it does make sense. But some of the stuff I'm like, you guys are just so smart. Like, I can never stop praising Oda enough for, like, just how much he has planned.
Did Oda, like, travel the world before he wrote One Piece? Because I feel like...
Wouldn't that be cool if he did?
I feel like it helped to, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, Baki, One Piece. These are series that take place outside of Japan. Yeah. And they have a feel to it that's more universal.
Definitely when, like... I mean, I guess the U.S. is such a big country.
Do you think that would help? Do you think that would help your writing?
I think it would help, like, experience. I mean, I know that's what people do. Like, artists, they go into, like, different, like, areas to really get to feel, like, okay, this is, like, how this area reacts to this or that. So,
yeah.
I think you got to be really smart to be a mangaka. Like, it takes so much to be a mangaka. You have to have great writing, great art. I mean, you can always do artists. You could be an artist or a writer.
Yeah, like, one of the most famous duos is the Death Note duo.
But the people who like are good at everything, like the writing, the character development, the planning, everything, I'm like, damn, that has to be like one of the hardest things to get like professional at.
The creator of Fairy Tail, he is an insanely hardworking dude. He has 3 different mangas out right now. Fairy Tail 100 Year Quest, Eden Zero, and this new one that just debuted like last month. And granted, they're all kind of similar, but they're all different at the same time.
Definitely Eden Zero and like Fairy Tail. There's basically characters are basically crossing over.
Yeah, like Lucy is the same character.
No, and that Happy character is basically the same.
Happy isn't it?
I think it's still Happy, right?
It's just Happy.
Yeah, his name is just Happy.
Yeah,
or her name or whatever.
But the new guy's pretty cool. I don't know what the series called. It just came out, but also he's also doing character and game design too. So he is a hard-working dude.
Some people just like to stay busy, I guess. But like, how do you keep track of like all those different stories and stuff?
He probably has a manager or 2.
Yeah.
Or editor or 5.
He probably takes months. Like, okay, this month I'm working on this story. Next month I'm that's the only way. Imagine like waking up and you're like, okay, for 4 hours I'm gonna work on this manga. For another 4 hours I'm gonna work on this manga. My brain would be like crossing the mangas together. Like, okay, wait, did this happen?
Oh yeah.
Did this happen in that manga?
I'm sure he has a room where he has like different like boards and charts and stuff like that, and like different like sticky notes that kind of like link together like certain events or whatever.
Yeah, but it has to. Excuse me. Yeah, being manga has to be one of the hardest things.
I've always kind of thought it'd be kind of cool to discuss like manga ideas, like on videos and like or like short form or whatever.
Give me a short manga idea.
But I was about to say that like I feel kind of nervous that someone's gonna steal it at the same time.
They're not stealing it. I'll tell you mine. Non-manga idea, manga power. Maybe like maybe kind of like a Blade or Yu-Gi-Oh situation. Is I was kind of thinking about this. Sorry, I was thinking about the stupidest idea for like a power system.
Did we do this one time?
I think we did interesting. Maybe we did. But I was just thinking, like, imagine, like, you get the ability of any element, but it has to currently be in your mouth. And whenever you spit it out, you don't have that ability.
Like mercury?
Yeah.
You get to swallow, like uranium.
Yeah, and then you just swallow it, and then you die. And then that's the end of the series. It was a very stupid one. I told you. Was that not stupid? I think it was.
Put like ice in your mouth? How'd you put fire in your mouth?
You know what? Low key, those after school Cartoon Network shows, I think it was just guys like us. Like, just coming out with these stupid ones. Yeah. Like, it was
like
just...
Shaolin Showdown?
No, that was a good one. You don't fucking say anything bad about Shaolin Showdown.
I didn't say that. Sorry.
I was talking...
Lucha?
Mucho Libre?
Yeah, Mucho Libre.
No, I was talking about, like, the stupid, like, Cartoon Network after school ones. Like, there was this one where, like, they had guns, and then they put these slugs in the guns, and they shot the slugs at each other. Did you ever watch that one? No, like, after, like, literally from, like, 1 p.m. to, like, 3 p.m. It wasn't even after school. It was during school Cartoon Network programs. It was, like, they had to be on drugs or something. Some of those shows are, like...
Yeah, how'd they get passed, right?
No, yeah, exactly. And, like, that's why they were airing from 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. before the kids even got out of school.
I have a legitimate story idea that I do want to keep, and I do want to put into, like, maybe create it one day.
Okay.
I think I told you about it. It's called Arc Terror Combat. Remember I told you about that?
Yeah, you told me. So you don't have to, because that's an idea they might steal.
Okay, so I have it written out. I have the pilot written out. Yeah, fuck you guys. I have it written out, and I have, like, obviously video evidence of me talking about it. I'll give keep it really brief,
but not too much details.
Yeah,
because they're gonna steal it.
Yeah, you fuckheads. Sorry, we're trying to get PG now, huh?
Are we?
We made the executive decision. We're gonna try to keep everything more PG vibe. After the next episode, of course. So Arc Terror Combat is basically takes place at a high school, and it resolves around like a couple, like people, these two kids who are dating, and they split the power of an archangel, and they fight demons, ghouls, and like spirits at night. And then we'll try to maintain their grades and the relationship during the day. And Michelangelo, the archangel, is their homeroom teacher. He's splitting their power with them. But here's the cool part: in their relationship, if their relationship is ever rocky, or they don't see eye to eye, or maybe there's a miscommunication issue, their powers will not fully activate. Also, their halo, they both share one halo, one half of the halo, and their halo, they share the same bars of energy. So let's say they have like 10, their energy's at like 100. One person can borrow like 40% to go fight, and one person can borrow 60% to go fight. And they have to work in synchronization to keep their powers like going.
I was trying to think of, like, what does that remind me of? I thought of two things. For one, I thought of Soul Eater, because the partnership and stuff. I think, though, that's really cool because you get to work with, like, these two characters kind of become like one character of like how they kind of like relate to one another.
Yeah, a little bit, yeah.
And I was also thinking about, like, it's kind of like in school when like you're given the egg to parent or the thing of flour to parent, and like if you don't do well, your grade's going down. Sure. If she doesn't do well, your grades are going down. If you both don't do well, your both grades are going down. So
absolutely,
like, you are, like, your performance is based off of that.
I will say, I had some inspiration from Soul Eater. It's still very different from Soul Eater, but
yeah, for sure.
When Soul would play his piano and everyone got synced up to the piano,
that was really cool.
And everyone's powers like boosted because they were like in sync with it. That was cool, right?
Yeah, no, 100%. I think that's like one of the coolest premises.
I drew some inspiration from that, but they're separate entities. She's a long distance fighter with like a sniper and like a bow and arrow, and he's up close like kind of like kickboxing.
Yeah. that would make some really dope action scenes of like him just like bah, 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 then someone's about to stab him in the back, and like she shoots, and like it follows her bullet all the way, and then it whoops back down to her. It would be really cool.
Or like one of that classic trope when he's like this to someone, and then like a red like beam like goes on top of him, and then he's like bang, and then she just shoots from behind him.
Yeah, that would be really cool.
Yeah, so that's my idea. I've been sitting on it for years, and like I wrote a few chapters out. I drew some concept art. But yeah, I think it's a winner. I just gotta really put my time into it.
Yeah, I was also thinking about one. I'm not gonna share with you guys. It's pretty deep.
Is it the one that you're telling me like not too long ago?
With the unicorns and the chocolate.
And they go to like a mountain made of candy.
Yeah, and they go like, Charlie.
That one's don't say anything else.
Let's go to Candy Mountain, Charlie.
You're literally giving away money.
Well, Ryan, here's the thing, man. I have to pee.
Is it hot dog time or is it pee time?
It's both. It's hot dog peeing time.
Guys, funny story. When like back in 2020, we were deciding on a podcast name or like a channel name. We almost called it the Glizzy Experience.
Honestly, I feel like we could still call it the Glizzy Experience. If I'm being honest with everybody, we could definitely still call it.
One of the things that stopped us was that we're not sure the word Glizzy is gonna be like relevant or cool in a few years.
I don't think it is. I think I was right. Who says glizzy? Like, remember back?
It's still funny though.
It still is funny, but it's not like relevant, you know.
No one says hobknocker normally, but like that's still a funny ass fucking word.
I'm so niddled.
Yeah, Neevil.
No, niddle.
You're so nibbles.
I bought
You're serving C word.
I bought a thesaurus because I'm trying to expand my dictionary. So
Your vocabulary.
Yeah, I'm trying to expand my vocabulary. So I bought a thesaurus, and I'm trying to use words to replace other words. So niddle means annoyed. I'm so niddled.
What's the thing at the end of your shoelaces?
Aglet.
Aglet.
Yeah, I watched Phineas and Ferb. I know what an aglet is.
Squirrels in my pants. Squirrels. Squirrels.
All right, that's it, guys. I got to pee so bad. I'm about to pee on my mouth.
Brady needs to pee so bad, but stick around for the extra content. I'm gonna be filming Brady peeing. You're not gonna want to miss it. It sounds just like a bacon hitting that hot ass pan.
All right, bye.
Bye.